Castlevania and me have always had a weird relationship. They were some of the first games I had ever played, so I have fond memories, starting with Simon's Quest, and while that game gets a lot of shit, it has some really good music, so at some point things even out a bit. But back to my weird relationship. I would go from being infatuated with the series, like when I played Symphony of the Night, to being all meh when I played games like Castlevania 64, which just rubbed me the wrong way. The series was trying to take that big step into 3D land, as many other franchises were, but unfortunately Castlevania didn't exactly have the smoothest transition into being a 3D series. But I just want to say real quick that I'm not saying Castlevania 64 is a bad game. I understand quite a lot of people enjoy the game, and that's great, but I don't personally enjoy the game's company. It's just a personal preference, not trying to jump on the mindless hate bandwagon. For the love of God, don't hit me! And with the please don't hit me speech out of the way, 3D Castlevania games started to rub me in the right way with Castlevania Lament of Innocence for the PlayStation 2, the quote-unquote third 3D installment in the series, and a good start for me digging the 3D titles, even though Curse of Darkness is way better. The game was rad as shit. But Lament of Innocence, even though it has a really cool name, was technically going to be the fourth 3D game in the series, as before its release there was another title in development that was cancelled before it had the opportunity to be shunned by fans. Ugh. And so today on Gaming Mysteries, I'll be talking about the unreleased game, Castlevania Resurrection for the Dreamcast. Now of course, since I'm talking about a game that was never released, I'm limited with footage. There's like one trailer and that's about it. But lucky for you, I have random Castlevania footage recorded, so I'm going to play that. The 3D games, mostly, because that fits with the theme, because I'm talking about a 3D Castlevania game. You guys get it. Now, Castlevania Resurrection, as I said, was to be the third attempt at making a 3D Castlevania game, and it was intended to be a US launch title for the Dreamcast. The game would focus on Sonia Belmont and a new character, Victor Belmont, whose mission would be to, gasp, vanquish Dracula. I hope you were all holding on to something so that plot point didn't hit you too hard and you'd fall over and hurt yourself, because that would be bad. Now, being a 3D game, I would expect it to play like the N64 titles, which is terrifying, but Castlevania Resurrection was to take a different approach, being far more action-orientated. It's said that they were aiming to make the title more like the classic Castlevania games, you know, but in 3D. Hell, there's even a quote from the team leader saying, "Think of it as a 3D version of the very first Castlevania. The core game is battles with various enemies." The game was to feature 5 stages, though they were apparently to be quite long, a large variety of enemies, and also a completely revamped camera system that, if I'm to understand correctly, would not suck. Now, I'd love to show you this wonderful gameplay, but of course, as I said, there's no footage of it. But there's a pretty good chance that I showed you the E3 trailer of it by now. Hell, I may have looped it once or twice, but if I haven't, I will before this video ends. I promise. But all in all, the game seemed very promising. A 3D Castlevania game that was to be a huge step up from the N64 titles? I want it! So why wasn't it released? Well, as I said earlier, it was intended to be a launch title for the Dreamcast in America, but it ended up being delayed until March, and then when March rolled around, Konami revealed that the project had been cancelled. Now, there's various speculation as to why it was cancelled. There were apparently early rumors that said the game just wasn't turning out well, but according to the art director, the game was cancelled simply due to Konami's lack of faith in the Dreamcast, and apparently the game was announced dead on the same day that Sony gave a firm announcement about the PlayStation 2. There are some other rumorish reason things as well, like disagreements between the Japanese and American Konami teams, but it does seem like the PS2 was really what killed the title. And then it went after the Dreamcast itself with its DVD drive, you sick bastard! Now from Konami's standpoint, this makes sense. The PlayStation 2 did basically kill the Dreamcast, or at the very least it helped with its evil DVD technology, so Konami did have reason to doubt the Dreamcast, as, well, look at what happened to the Dreamcast. That pretty much speaks for itself. If anything, they made a smart business decision, but it's unfortunate that the game got scrapped like this. I mean, couldn't they have just moved it over to the PlayStation 2 with its fancy DVDing? Evidently not. But that, my friends, except for the one guy in the back who doesn't like me, go fuck yourself, is Castlevania Resurrection, the true third 3D Castlevania game, technically, but not really because it was cancelled. I can't say I'm stoked about its cancellation for the Dreamcast, or even just the abandonment of the whole project, as when I see promising games, I tend to want to play those games because that seems pretty logical. And even though we did start getting good 3D Castlevania games eventually, I can't help but wonder how the series would have played out with the inclusion of Resurrection. There could have been like one additional 3D Castlevania game, and that would have changed everything! But we'll never know if that would have been the case, unless someone leaks it. See, sometimes if I mention a game being leaked, it randomly happens, so leakers, if you're listening, you should do that. But this has been Gaming Mysteries. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to End Slate. Last time on End Slate, the End Slate was at the end of a very, very long video. Hope you guys enjoyed that, by the way. But, yeah, I was tired by that time, so hopefully this will go better. But probably not, because it's also not scripted like all the other ones. But hey, I have videos that I'd like to end slate you about, so let's talk about end slates. The two videos I'll be talking to you about today, suggesting, if you will, I'm going to tell you about. One's a Gaming Mysteries, because you just watched the Gaming Mysteries about Castlevania. Now, I can't direct you towards another video of mine that has to do with Castlevania, because I don't think I've ever talked about Castlevania besides now, which is my bad. I thought about talking about Castlevania on DOS, but I don't know. I hate working with DOSBox, and that's the only way I can get footage, and stupid. But, anyways, other Gaming Mysteries. What's it a Gaming Mysteries of? I'm going to tell you. It's a Gaming Mysteries of The Legend of Zelda 3, the Triforce Saga. The Triforce Saga might not be in the title of that video. I don't actually remember. But I'm recommending this because I'm doing something Zelda related in February, so it seems logical to recommend something Zelda related. Zelda on Zelda. Oh, that's a fanfic. Ugh, sorry about that. Yeah. But as for the other video, it's an obscure gaming. An obscure gaming of what? Well, it's the latest obscure gaming I did. It's obscure gaming. If I did an obscure gaming on Zelda, I could recommend that, but too bad. It's an obscure gaming on Pokemon Stadium for the Super Nintendo. The video that made me say Pokemon instead of Pokemon, which some people said. I think people are fucking with me because it seemed like I was getting a lot of comments saying you shouldn't say Pokemon. You should really say Pokemon. And now I'm getting comments like, you know, it sounded better when you said Pokemon, so I feel like I'm being fucked with. I don't think that's intentional, but it's just something I noticed. But yeah, there's that, and there's the other thing. And now you've been end-slated. Oh, here we go, bottom of the screen. You know, I could ask for you guys to subscribe, but that text is there, so I'm not going to say a goddamn thing. What I do want to say is that I recently hit 100,000 subscribers, and I'm going to get a little mushy here, okay? Hold on, so hold on to your seats. And I want to thank everyone who's subscribed. This is not a 100 subscriber video, by the way. This would be a pretty shitty celebration. But I want to thank everyone who subscribed and watched my videos over the years and enjoyed it, and enjoyed me and my stupid thoughts, and put up with my stupid sarcasm and my not jokes, which some people think are jokes, but whatever. It's really just rambling, you guys. But apparently people like it, so thank you. Thank you for sticking with me all this time and enjoying my crap. I have plenty more crap for the future. Lots of ideas. Some of them are really dumb. So those will be fun. Those will require me to get my shit together, though. But yeah, thanks again. More videos in the future. I love you. I don't know. I never know how to fucking end these. So I love you. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now. Okay, later, dudes. Blah. It's not over yet. Okay, now it's over. We're done. Now I'm gonna leave. Oh, 4 minutes. Okay, bye.